Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at linear congruences. So this symbol here, means equivalent to. Another word for that is congruent. That's where we get the name congruences from. Basically, we're solving linear equations in modulo n. So let's look at this one here. So if this were a normal linear equation and we had like 3x equals 2, what we would want to do is find a value we can substitute for x to make this a true statement. How would we do this? Well, we would divide by 3. The problem is that division isn't really defined for modular arithmetic. But this is why inverses are important. We can't really divide by 3. The number 2/3 doesn't really exist in modulo n, but we can get around that by multiplying by 3 inverse. See, we actually do this all the time without knowing it. In normal arithmetic, if you want to say divide by 2, that is the same as timesing by 2 inverse. In normal real numbers, 2 inverse is equal to a half. So 20 divided 2 is the same as 20 times a half. And that's the trick we're using here. We can't really divide by 3, but what we're going to do is we're going to times each side by the inverse of 3 modulo 17. Once again, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Okay, so what is the value of 3 inverse modulo 17? Well, that one's not too hard to find. It's 6. 6 is the inverse of 3 because 3 times 6 is 18, which is 1 modulo 17. And that's really what we want here. We want to undo multiplying by 3. So because we can't divide, at least not in the traditional sense, we're going to multiply by 3 inverse. We're going to multiply each side by 6 because that is the inverse of 3. So if I go 6 times 3, modulo 17, that's just 1. So I'm going to be left with 1x. Now 6 times 2 is equivalent to 12 mod 17. So that's the answer. X is equivalent to 12 mod 17 because if I substitute this for 12, I get a true statement. 3 times 12 is 36. When you divide 36 by 17, the remainder is 2. This is a true statement, so I know I'm right. All right, let's try this one here. So, like a linear equation, what we're going to do first is we're going to add 4 to both sides. So 12 plus 4 is obviously 16, but 16 is equivalent to 3 in mod 13. So I get 5x is equivalent to 3 mod 13. So now I want to undo timesing by 5. So how do I do that when I can't really divide? I'm going to times each side by the inverse of 5 modulo 13. Okay, so what's the inverse of 5 modulo 13? So remember that I want to find what number you multiply by 5 to get 1 mod 13. So these are the numbers that are equivalent to 1 mod 13. 14, 27, 40. I stop there because that's divisible by 5. So the inverse of 5 modulo 13 is 8 because 5 times 8, which is 40, is equivalent to 1 mod 13. It's 1 more than a multiple of 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply each side by 8. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So multiplying the left-hand side by 8, 8 times 5x, 40x is the same as 1x, modulo 13. 8 times 3 is 24. But of course, 24 mod 13 is equivalent to 11 mod 13. So that is the answer, because if I substitute x for 11 here, I get a true statement. 5 times 11 minus 4, 51 is equivalent to 12 mod 13. So I know I'm right. All right, let's now look at some linear congruences where we have issues. So let's try and solve 6x is equivalent to 2 mod 15. So of course what we want to do is times by 6 inverse. But the problem is here, 6 does not have an inverse modulo 15. 6 and 15 are not coprime. They share a prime factor of 3. So this here, it turns out, has no solution. And that makes sense. You see, all multiples of 6 are divisible by 3. All multiples of 15 are divisible by 3. It's impossible you could multiply a number by 6 and get 2 more than a multiple of 15. These are the numbers that are equivalent to 2 mod 15. We're adding 15 each time. As you can see, none of them is divisible by 6 because none of them is divisible by 3. All multiples of 6 must also be multiples of 3. So that has no solution. On the other hand, this one here has a few solutions. Once again, we don't have an inverse of 6 modulo 15. But we can find some solutions. If I write out the numbers that are equivalent to 9 mod 15, I have 9, 24, I'm adding 15 each time. So 39, 54, 69, 84, and so on. So we do have here a few multiples of 6. So there are a few different solutions. So x could be equivalent to 4, 9, or 14 modulo 15. 6 times 4 gives you 24, 6 times 9 is 54, 6 times 14 is 84. So we get issues when the coefficient of x here is not coprime to the modulus. So you don't need to worry too much about that, but I just wanted to point out because that's going to be why in cryptography, when we can choose the modulus, we usually choose prime numbers here so we avoid clashes like this. I just wanted to make mention of this here. 4x is equivalent to 0 mod 12. That also causes problems when you're dividing 0 by a number. It's got the issue of 0 divisors. Of course here, x is equivalent to 0 is one solution, but 3, 6, 9 also give you solutions. So once again, 4 is not coprime to 12. 4 doesn't have an inverse. So when this coefficient of x does not have an inverse, sometimes you get no solution, sometimes you get heaps of different solutions, and it's not always immediately obvious how many solutions there will be. So that's why we're going to end up doing a lot of work in prime modulus. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.